Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is a Dreams tutorial. I got a comment from Rabrick Dreams. He wanted a tutorial on building a zip line that you can jump on and off. I had no luck working out how to create a zip line that you can jump on and off at any point along the paint stroke. I can't always be successful in forming the things that you asked me for, and on this occasion I couldn't do it. However, I did manage to build a basic zip line, and I thought it might be useful for other people, so this is a tutorial on that. So let's have a look and see how this plays out. So here's my character. I can get up the stairs. It says use zip line. Press triangle and down the zip line I go. There we go. So I think that's pretty cool. That might be useful for somebody in a game to put something nice in. So how did I do it? Okay, so first thing, in my player microchip, I've added a trigger zone. This is going to look for our zip line, and it's looking for a tag called zip, and that's it. Pretty basic. Make sure your trigger zone is in the right place and big enough so that it's going to encompass your microchip here, so that you definitely get it. Check that one out. Make sure it's possible for the player to get close to the trigger zone so that it will activate. Right, we've now got an AND gate, so it's looking to see, are you in the trigger zone for the zip? And then have you pressed the triangle button? If those two are true, then it sends a transmitter that's called start zip, and that's it. Okay, so that's a named transmitter, start zip. All of the workings for the zip line are in this microchip. Now, I've created a very simple Zipline Mechanism thing. It's just a block and a tube. Obviously, you'll make this look much nicer, or you could have it invisible, and the player can just slide down on his hands. It's up to you what you design here. But the important thing is that this microchip, which has got all of this gubbins in, all of these gadgets, needs to be attached to this object. This is the object that is going to go sliding down our paint stroke. So you've got to make sure that the microchip is on that paint stroke. Right, inside the microchip then we have our receiver. Now we've got to make sure that the receiver is got a nice big detection zone, so it's going to pick up the receiver message from our puppet to say start the zip line. There's also the tag zip, which is what the player is looking for to start with. And as you can see, the gizmo for that is very low. It's not on the actual handle. That is because our player is going to be dangling from this zip line, and this ball here on this gizmo needs to be around about his pelvis area. Now, when you make this, it might be a good idea to try it out. Just put it where you think it might be. Let him slide down a little bit. Pause and then go in, and then you can adjust it. You can see whereabouts the gizmo is and whether you need to make it a bit higher or a bit more to the left or to the right or whatever. Make sure that the Y is facing straight up and that the Z axis is moving down your zip line, so that way he'll be orientated in the correct direction. Otherwise you could have him going down sideways or backwards. It depending on your game, you might want that, I don't know. But anyway, that's the orientation on the gizmo. Now, the way this works then is I have a 1-1 counter. So this is a counter that is on until you tell it otherwise. So this counter is on, and when it's on, when it's full, then it goes into this AND gate to say, is the player next to the zip line? And is this counter on? In which case, text display, use zipline. And this text display is in scene and placed over the top there. So when you receive the message to start the zip, this then removes one from the counter. So this is no longer full. So this no longer displays, because you don't want that to display as you move all the way down the zip line. So that will stop as soon as you start the zip. And this is also powering on our timeline, and this is our zipline animation here. This is why this method is not going to work for jumping on and off, because it is an animation. You're just animating, moving your player down the line. So the way you do it is you put in a keyframe, you place your the object that is going to move down the zip line at the beginning of your paint stroke, and then you do it again and place it at the bottom of your stroke, and then you put in a blend, a linear blend, and then that is going to now move all the way down your paint stroke during this animation. You can adjust the speed by having these closer together, and underneath it is the teleporter. This is going to teleport our player to the tag called zip and this position here. So this teleporter is looking for zip. It's also got match target position and match target orientation. Click those both on, and the affected object is wired to our player. Now make sure that you have this shorter than the end of the keyframe. If this was longer than the keyframe, if I had this like that, then the teleporter will still be active at the end of the zip, and he won't be able to move. And if you have it too long, then it's going to go back up to the start keyframe, and you're going to end up being teleported back to the beginning. So you don't want that. So make sure that this is shorter than your keyframe, and it's quite nice to have him just sort of drop off just before it gets to the end. You don't want it so his legs get buckled up underneath him as he sort of grinds into the ground, unless that's what the effect that you want. This keyframe is putting his hands up in the air so that he looks like he's holding on. And here we have our sound effect of moving down the wire. You can pick any sound effect that you want that's suitable for that. And that's it. That's all it is. So it's a little animation for him moving down the zip line. And what I've done here is I've wired it so that on end trigger, it restarts the timeline. So a couple of seconds after you've gone down, it goes back to the beginning again, and it's ready for you to go again down the zip line. And there we go, that's it. Not too many gadgets, pretty simple. So have fun with that. Put that in your platforming games or something. If you're having difficulty, the difficulties that you might find is this orientation. Just make it's quite a good idea to get him to move down the zip line and pause. So get him halfway down and pause, and then you can easily adjust him, move this about. But I mean, getting this right can be difficult to do. Also, make sure that your trigger zones for both the start zip and this trigger zone in the player down here will coincide. So if you've got your trigger zone too low, for example, and it doesn't pick up this, then obviously it's not going to work. So that's the two sticking points that you've got to be careful with. Otherwise it's pretty straightforward. Okay, hope that was useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in your dreams.